Hello, I am Mohammed Shahwan, a graduate student at Okan in the Department of Architecture. I will be talking about sheltering your identity with an inoffensive mobility, a topic that I've chosen to speak about refugees and displaced people around the world. Starting off by defining a small footage about refugees and displaced people. Shelter your identity with an inoffensive mobility. Starting off with the abstract, basically in our current era and for the past 8 to 10 years of the current 20th century, we have been perceiving many people that are exiled, refugees, people that are leaving their hometowns by force, um, and this is all causing displacement. In this research, I will be talking about those displaced people that are refugees now, they were exiled, force was being put onto them because of environmental factors or because of economical factors such as high land prices, etc. The keywords for my research is shelter for united mobility. As an introduction, I introduced my topic, which is about mobile spaces, in which I see usage within those three main factors um, that could help those that are exiled or displaced. Objective of the research is to basically have more shelter opportunities and shelter those that were exiled and removed by force from their hometowns and homes, of course. The research goals afford more accommodation as stated. Research questions would be: what is a common situation between many countries worldwide in our current era? Who's in need and how much land is left for people to afford? Um, for my research core, I have been talking about where could mobile spaces be used, the locations, the placements, etc. There's a difference when it comes between modular homes and mobile homes. Mobile homes are to be constructed in factories so as modular homes. However, when they are constructed and transported to the site, there's a little bit of difference in which a mobile home is constructed in a factory and then transported directly into the site. However, a modular house is basically constructed and transported section by section, then combined in the site. So it is not directly placed. This is the main difference between both of them. Other building construction comparison in which we can see many construction methods used within the buildings in the current generation now. However, concrete is one of the most that is used at our current era right now. We can see many different types of concrete usages mentioned in the following PDF. Mobile home constructions, which we spoke about before, which is how it's constructed in factories. There are different types. Most of the ones that is used is a stick framing structure, which is easier for leaving an empty space inside for the interiors and having easier proportion. No foundation is mostly used within the space constructed. Advantages and disadvantages of the mobile spaces. In brief, the most advantages that are seen within mobile spaces is how portable it is, how quick it is to be constructed, since the environmental factors cannot affect those whom are constructing the spaces, because they are in factories. Rain, wind, nothing could affect it because they are indoors. And it's lower cost, of course. The disadvantages are very basic, in which you cannot customize as much. You need to be near a factory sometimes in order to have some fixations, or because of transportation issues, and zoning is an obstacle. There are some lands that do not allow you to place that mobile space in it because of military issues, because of many other issues that doesn't allow you, but you can find a lot of land to place your space on. Here we can see that we spoke about the cost, the difference between other buildings and this mobile spacing. Of course, it's one of the lowest compared to any other cost buildings. The location, the size, and the design makes a difference in the cost as well, just like any other building. The topography, in which here basically we spoke about how a mobile space can be placed directly, but it's preferable if it's not placed directly onto the ground because of the topography issues that are used within other buildings. They either dig it up, they either place something that is lifted above for the building, and this is the same for a mobile space. Mobile spaces are usually lifted above from the ground by a platform or by a space that is transported within it. The environmental considerations that need to be taken into consideration, such as the sun orientation, the wind, etc. Some of the inspirations when starting off my research, which is some of them were inspiration that is such as this example, the conceptual nature that was taken from nature to a design. Here we can see another inspiration of the shape and the openings. The most inspiring thing about this was the interior of it, how empty it was inside, and how everything inside was used as a shelf form, but also you can use it as sleeping, storage, etc. In such example, I really like the construction idea, which is the framing and most common one that is used within the mobile spaces. In this example, the technology was used mostly in it. It was a self-driving market, which is a very new, unique idea in my personal perspective. And in this example, we can see that things were used quicker in terms of earthquake, that a theater was proposed quickly. It could be removed and placed wherever. This is just an example that was inspiring on how the design or shape or an opening is. This is an Okan student example and proposal. And here we can see the lighting and the openings, etc. Something to take into consideration when it comes to mobile spaces is the dimensions, in which the dimension is very important in terms of height and width, of course, and length, because of the transportation when they're placed on trucks or anything else, so they can be moved in the streets. Transportation has many types, which is such as pickup trucks, caravans, wheels attached within the space itself, and the last interesting one was boats. In each island in this example, we can see that a different function is taken, and in each we can go by a boat, and within this we can have different functions in the middle of the sea in different transportation. Very interesting and unique one. As spoken before, entrances and openings and how the mobile space itself is elevated with a platform or by stairs as seen here. In conclusion, refugees and exiled people, economic crisis, and locations that are consisting of high prices for people that cannot afford can be solved by mobile spaces in order to have more living and more shelter for those people. In here in my matrix, I mentioned the example that we spoke about before, the architects, the location, the construction methods, the openings, the entrances, and above all, I mentioned the lighting elements of the TV, whether it's natural, it's not, etc. The SWOT analysis spoke about the strengths, weaknesses, threats, and opportunities for such examples and the differences between them. Here's my citation. So as my whole research translated into Turkish as asked. Moving on to my 3D proposals. Here we can see an overview about Syria, capital, the currency, the population, the life expense, either religion, nationality, etc. The damage that is done on the whole map, taking us to the most damaged city, which was Aleppo, the one that I have chosen to design and make my proposal on. A historical timeline just to have a brief idea on what happened, what's happening, and how did the damage happen. This is more about the damage analysis details in order to know how many people were displaced, how many people were not, how far were they displaced, what are the things that were destroyed mostly, such as educational centers, healthcares, etc. This is all needed in order to know what to provide and what not to. A climate summary about the hottest month, coldest month, wettest month, the daylight, the wind, humidity, etc. This is my site analysis proposal, in which Aleppo has several districts, and I chose Ain al Arab district, which has 4 sub-districts in it, and within these 4 sub-districts, I chose Kobani. Here is the site that I chose. It's 7 kilometers. Elevation is 520 meters. The population of it had 40,000 people. That's in 2015. So this is the sun direction, the west wind and the north wind. The map showed everything that it had, where everything was destroyed, but there's this one hospital and restaurant that is close by to the district. My site plan proposal. Here we can see the placement of my mobile spaces. Here we can see how the whole idea is to have small communities in each circle, where each circle is connected with each other. Those 2 circles will have 4 residential communities connected within common areas, and those common areas are connected to the main big common area, and in each common area there will be playgrounds, there will be mosques, there will be health centers, markets, and wet spaces for people to do their needs and wash their clothes. In each residential community, there will be a single hub, a double hub, a 4+ hub. There will be 14 single hubs, 5 double hubs, and 5 4+ hubs. That will consist of 78 users. Moving on to my conceptual idea that I was inspired by, which is a unity symbol and the unity bonding of holding hands within each other, which made me design it in such orientation of circles and placement in order to show the symbol of unity more and propose it within the topography and reflect it on the ground to the people in order to have a more reflective idea. And above all, here we can see that the border is also closed for more safety. No car entrances, parking outside. Entrances is only with bicycles and walking. And there will be also another common areas inside of those residential communities in order to have the kids playing around the hubs and water elements for people to enjoy. Here we can see a bubble diagram of the exterior and the interior of each single double L4 plus hub. This is my double hub plans, the ground floor so as the mezzanine floor. This will fit uh, 2 to 4 people, sorry. These are the sections for my hubs. We can see the bedrooms, the toilet, raised floor for storage. Here's another perspective. Lighting elements, elevations, single hub which will fit 1 to 2 people in it. This would also allow us to have more space within the topography. Elevations. This is the 4 plus hub that will fit 4 to 6, maybe 7 people as well. We can see that this one includes another toilet in it because the number of people increased, 2 rooms on the ground floor, and a more extended mezzanine floor. Sections, elevations. This is the sides 3D, this is the closed community inside. Those are for carrying the mobile spaces, the common area, and the placement of them. This is my common area 3Ds inside of the residential communities. Double hub 3Ds, single hub 3Ds, 4 plus hubs 3Ds, and last but not least, my sustainable proposal, which is direct ventilation through the windows for a healthier environment inside, recyclable material of those shipment containers to be made as living spaces, catching water above on the ceiling, making a little bit of depth, so as solar systems that are attached not permanently but temporarily in order to make it more modular, in case of moving the space somewhere else, having it move somewhere else, or no need for that space but moving it to a single hub rather than a double. Thank you so much.